This happens all the time. People say, "Oh, okay, Cyrus, I lowered my fat intake," but then they're consuming sugar-sweetened beverages. They're eating cookies, crackers, chips, pastas, right? And the answer is, listen, it's a step in the right direction. So I commend you for, reducing your total saturated fat intake and eating more plant material. But if you really, truly want to reverse insulin resistance and make a sustainable lifestyle out of that over the course of time and truly reduce your chronic disease risk, not only for diabetes, but also for all the complications of diabetes, must control your sugar intake or eliminate it from your diet. Have to. So white table sugar, refined fructose, things that are results of a manufacturing process. These foods are these nutrients are devoid of fiber. They are devoid of micronutrients, which are necessary for reversing chronic disease. So a simple way to think about it is, suppose I gave you an apple and you ate that apple. And the apple contained, just for the sake of argument, 20 grams of glucose and 20 grams of fructose. You might say to me, Cyrus, well, 20 grams of glucose is a lot. 20 grams of fructose is a lot. We know from evidence-based research that fructose can negatively impact the function of your liver, and it can negatively impact the function of your brain. Therefore, you shouldn't be eating fructose and glucose. And my answer to you is, all right, when you consume an apple, you are consuming glucose and fructose. You're also consuming more other diverse carbohydrates. You're also consuming protein. You're also consuming fat. You're also consuming vitamins, minerals, fiber, water, antioxidants, and phytochemicals. You get a whole package. You get a whole package of both macro and micronutrients at the same time. And all of them are going to your digestive system simultaneously. And the digestive cocktail that is manufactured by your small intestine, by your pancreas, and by your liver is specifically designed to be able to digest and break down and transport those nutrients simultaneously. That's part of the biological orchestra that makes human beings so unbelievably brilliant. Okay? Contrast that versus white table sugar or high fructose corn syrup. Okay? White table sugar started with a sugar beet, and then it was processed and dehydrated and cracked and ground down and turned into a white sugar and bleached and turned into white sugar. Or it started with sugar cane and the same process, and you end up with white table sugar, right? Or you take refined fructose, high fructose corn syrup, right? In either one of those situations, if you were to consume those and stick them into your mouth, they travel down your esophagus, into your stomach, and into your small intestine. The high fructose corn syrup, as an example, could have 20 grams of glucose and 20 grams of fructose, exactly the same as that apple, okay? But they function completely differently because the high fructose corn syrup has zero other carbohydrates, 0 protein, 0 fat, 0 fiber, 0 vitamins, 0 minerals, 0 phytochemicals, and 0 antioxidants. Okay? That's a problem. That's a huge problem. It might have the same glucose and fructose content, but without all those other protective micro and macronutrients at the same time, it's not the same game. It's not even the same league. We're not even talking about the same. We're talking about two completely different foods that have two completely drastically different metabolic effects. So as a society, we have to stop talking about glucose and fructose from refined sources and from whole foods as though they're the same. They're not the same. They're not even close to being the same. And once we actually make that difference, you start to realize that they're handled differently, they're transported differently, they're digested differently, and they have completely different effects. The whole food is going to reduce your chronic disease risk. The refined foods are going to cause fatty acid deposition inside of your liver. They're going to make you more insulin resistant. They're going to increase the amount of insulin that your pancreas is secreting. They're going to make you more hyperinsulinemic, which is going to raise your overall chronic disease risk. And they're going to increase your risk for Alzheimer's disease down the road, right? So it's the refined versions of those carbohydrates that are the problem. The whole versions of those carbohydrates are perfectly safe. Eat them at will. Eat them as much as you want. Have a good time, and it will lower your chronic disease risk at the same time.
We hope you enjoyed this short excerpt from the Health and Healing Club. This entire interview is available inside the Health and Healing Club, which you can try for a free 7-day trial at healthandhealingclub.com. You'll be able to access this interview and all the interviews and resources dedicated to helping you get and stay healthy at the Health and Healing Club. That's healthandhealingclub.com.